Hi! Today is February 1st, and you know what it means. That's the day when we start the tradition already of Finish It February or Fix It February. It's a month that we dedicate to finish lingering whips, to clear the palette for the year, or to fix stuff and improve its usability. Well, it's not official, but many people do, and I have been doing in the last years, and it paid off. So this year I'm going to do both, a little bit of fix it, a little bit of finish it. So let's see what I'm going to tackle this month. First, the fix it stuff, and you will recognize if you follow the channel for a long time that we fixed it last year in the Fix It February, but it repeats a little bit more here. And I'm very disappointed in the strength of invisible crochet seams, at least with crochet thread, because it's the second time I'm having to fix it, and I have worn it so little that it shouldn't justify that, you know. But you have 1, 2, and I think 3 more in the other side. Regardless, I think I'm going to use sewing thread to reinforce them. Another one that I may get to, but I'm not sure, my only other project for fixing is my Elvin blouse. The issue with it is that it is a little short, you know. It's not super short. I have some bottoms that I can wear it with and it's okay, but definitely not the majority of my bottoms. I could use it so much more if I had 3 to 5 more centimeters here, you know. I have enough yarn to fix it, and I have been playing with this idea in my mind for long now. However, I would have to cut it, and this is super wash, and I'm not sure how well it will felt together again, and I'm very scared of making sweater surgery. This will be my last priority of today's project, so let's see. Now let's go to the finish. I have 8 whips currently. 4 of them are cardigans, and these are the ones I'm going to tackle. Why am I going to tackle cardigans in the heat of summer and not so close to autumn? Because 2 of them are my oldest projects. They are the ones that I brought from 2025, and I want to get rid of them in the spirit of Finish It February and also get ready for autumn. The first one is my oldest project ever. It's my 2-ply cabled cardigan from Stitchcraft 1949. You're probably very tired of seeing it again and again by now, and I want to finish it, but I ran out of yarn, and this was unraveled yarn, so I have to wait until I can use this one, which is close, you know, to the color, but this is being used in this other cardigan. So this is my colorwork cardigan, which is my other project from 2025 and another in my list to finish. This is the sleeve in which I'm currently working. I have to complete this repeat. We're midway through the repeat here, and add another repeat and then shape it, and another sleeve, and then I also have to finish the body. The body is here until the underarms. Today I intend on trying to finish this one, which is my penteador. It's a bed jacket from my own vintage magazine. We will talk more about it when I finish it, but it's very close to the end. I just cast off this sleeve here, separated the sleeve from the body, and I have to finish the body here. I also have already transitioned to the large needles again, increase it as they say. I have one more section in the larger needles, another section in the small needles, and the final section in the larger needles as well, and then the fringe that they have all around here. In the magazine they also have a waistband here. I am probably not going to make it because mine turned out way larger than the magazine one seems to be. And the second one that I have to finish because I have a deadline, and that's another reason why I picked up my cardigans to work on February, is my Arlington cardigan by Lily Kate France. You see I finished the body here, and I'm working on the bottom band. I have shaped it to curve, and right now I will add the buttonholes in the next section. Work around. It's a double knit button band. If you ever knit a double knit button band, you know it takes a while. Since I had to make some adjustments in the length because of my height and the fact that I was off gauge a little bit, I have maybe to adjust either the number of buttons or the placement of the buttonholes, and I'm waiting on the okay from the designer to do it. If she had already replied, I would work on this weekend. She hasn't so far. This will be just the next one in which I'm going to work, because I still need to finish this, attach the buttons and make both sleeves and block it and everything. These are the projects that I will tackle this month, and well, follow along for the journey. Bye for now. I thought I was going to finish yesterday the knitting of this cardigan, but I did not, because after knitting for a while it got too hot, so I changed it for another project. But I have worked a little more on it later, and then this morning I finished this part here, this last bit, and I have the yarn attached to it, just the end to sew it, because it's open here. I will sew it, and my next tool to use in this cardigan is this one, a fork. I will show you why. Here is my magazine. See, it's from 1945. The instructions not very broad, you see, but they have the pictures. This is a beginner's pattern, so they still use very large needles. They don't say which number of needle you should get, but the idea probably is to get the folks interested in knitting by finishing a project quickly. So you have the step-by-step instructions here, and the finishing is here. And this is not a common fork, of course, it's a hairpin lace fork, but we're going to make do with what we have. This is used to create this trim here. You make something special at the end of the trims as well. I don't know how to do it. And well, you will see it all ready quite soon, I believe. Hey, it's February 3 and I have an update for you regarding my bed jacket. It's sewn. It's an entire garment now. The sewing is not like wonderful. You can still see it here, but I don't mind because of the nature of this garment. And I did not use metric stitch due to the gauge. What did I do was picking the purl bumps in each rows here. I was going in a 7-figure and doing that 7 figures up to here. And then in the sleeve I have matched stitch to stitch here, and I will show you in a second. Here you have it. It's a big jacket. Definitely not how I intended it to be, but oh well, I will still finish it. And I have started yesterday already making the trim, and it uses hairpin crochet. However, they of course don't teach you to do hairpin crochet in the magazine. So I had to learn it. I did not have a hairpin loom, so I had to improvise my own. At first I tried to use a barbecue fork, but it was too thin here. An actual fork I tried to, but the bar in the middle troubled me. I noticed that due to the size and the scale of this garment, I needed a thicker trim. I researched hairpin looms. They were not expensive, but I don't think I will be doing many pieces and hairpin lace, so I didn't consider it an useful investment, and I figured that I could build something to make the trim without being a proper loom, and I did here. It's very rudimentary, folks, but you can see that I have started the trim already. I just measured what I have to cover, and it's exactly my height, 161 centimeters. Funny. Well, I only have this left over. I'm working with a double strand, as they call us to do, and a 3mm hook. How did I do this one? This is a 4mm needle. Some of my earlier knitting needles, it's plastic, and it has those needle stoppers. I have plucked 2 holes in a cardboard piece. I did it in 2 of them. I placed the bottom of the needle between the 2 folds here, the upper holes through the needle, and the lower was just holding it fixed, and then I placed tape here and then folded it and placed another piece of tape to hold it more firmly. and it's pretty firm. However, I have to say that when we are doing this in this improvised device, since it's not really fixed, it's just taped together, I have to take care with the tension, because I started to pull too much, as I usually do with crochet. This got crooked, they got like that. Usual hairpin looms are either metal or wood. They are regulated. Usually you can change the width of your space here, but once you regulate it, it's fixed. And plastic folds, you know, so it started to fold, and some of mine are thinner than the others, so I fixed it by removing the thinner parts, and then I started to make very loose loops here, and I was able to bring it back to its normal resting shape here. When it was crooked, it started to disassemble my entire device. So how do you do this? It took me 2 tutorials to understand. I will leave you below the one that taught me how to do it. Once you do one loop, your yarn will be going here to the left hand. You will take your needle out of the way somehow. You will twist your loom so that it goes all to the front, and then you will have your yarn in the back again, and in the left loop you will bring your needle between your loops here, and you will pull one loop. You will make one single crochet then, and you will remain with one loop on your hook. Let me do it again. Just twist all around, bring your yarn to my yarn to the back, in the left now, here, and I'm creating kind of a zigzag, and the stitch I will be working on will be always in the left, but I will be alternating the sides of the strip that I work, and I just keep doing it ad infinitum, and in the end I will attach it to the garment. Last thing I have to say is that I received feedback from the designer, and I can proceed in the Arlington cardigan, and that's what I'm going to do after I work this up. Also, the last part of the trim is to attach it there, and then I crochet just one row of single crochets, picking just one of the double strands here. I think it's to keep it in a shape, but it's done with silk yarn. I have one which is silk and viscose, but I don't want to use that one because I want to use it entirely in another project, and I don't want to be short of the amount I have. Probably I'm going to buy some embroidery thread or cotton thread to finish this, so I won't be able to finish right away. Hi, I finished my bed jacket, but before I stand up, I want you to have one thing in mind. This is what it was supposed to look like. Waistband, shaping, probably just a blouse. Now, see. It's practically a robe. Just let me sit and talk to you for a little. So, you have been watching this video, you know it wasn't going to turn out just like it was in the magazine. I believe I have talked about it. I started without gauge swatching. There is no gauge to be found here. Of course, I could have calculated everything beforehand and create a gauge for myself. I didn't want to do this. I just wanted to cast on and go. And I run the risk because, well, it's a jacket to wear before bed. I mean, gauge is not so relevant here. Of course, to fit properly, it is, but it's not unwearable, you know? Anything that catches it, crosses it, and pulls the thread and creates those holes. But it's very soft. It's very soft and warm as heck. It's going to go probably for my mom, because she loves that open gauge, and it's light. It weighs less than 200 grams here, so probably going for her. If not, I'm going to wear it as I wear my balloon jacket at home in the winter. It turned out cute, kinda. This was the highlight of the project. It is hairpin lace. As you know, I really enjoy it. The process is swift and calming and easy to learn, so I am collecting hairpin patterns on a bundle on Ravelry, and I plan on making a hairpin crochet dedicated pattern roundup in the future. What else? This. I got this yesterday. The very last touch of this pattern was the silk thread to trim the trim, as I was saying, and the magazine requests a silk thread, but I didn't know where to find it. I didn't have it, so I was making it with the leftovers of this blouse. Actually, I had just a little bit. I run into yarn chicken with this one, and I got all the way through it and half the other side in one of the sides, but I was doing it wrong. Then yesterday I went to the shop to find something that I could use to continue that. I tried to find the same yarn in smaller spools that they have. I wasn't able to find the same color, and I was bringing another color to make the thing all over. That's when my eyes caught this one. It was a silk thread. It was in her shelves, and I asked what it was. She said she sold it by meter, but I said, I don't know exactly how many meters I need. So she said, take it for 5 Brazilian reals. I think it's like $1. Take the entire thing. I don't want to keep measuring it. And so did I, and I still have more if I want to repeat, which I probably want to make it someday in the correct way, or just for embroidery or other things. I still have a lot of that thread. Well, I think that's what I had to show you and to update you on by now, and I'm going to proceed to my red cardigan. I will work on the button band in the weekend. Maybe start today, I don't know, because today is February 6th, Friday, still a working day. Today or tomorrow I will go to my Arlington cardigan, finish the button band and start one sleeve. That's the goal for the weekend. If I can, I will also work a little bit in the collar work cardigan, because that one I really can't work other than in the weekend. And bye for now. Take a last glance. The shaping is completely lost in this oversized, but, well, what can you do? That was an experiment. Hi, today is February 9 and I have a quick update to you regarding my Arlington cardigan. I'm halfway through the button band. Here you can see it. I have done the 3 buttonholes. The pattern asked for 4, but considering my numbers, I could only get 3. I consulted with the designer, and there are some spaces when we curve. And other than that, it's just pure double knit. I thought I would be finished with the button band by the end of the weekend, but I did not, because I finished another project about which I will talk to you now, because I don't think I will squeeze it in March update or something. So this is the one here, entirely finished. It's a pillar stamp by Perfectly Knotted, Claire Jackson, I think. She made a free pattern day of the month, of the year, I don't know, January 26th. I got it, and since I had this yarn on my stash and I was waiting for something to make with it, I immediately cast on January 27th, and I have finished it in this 10-day period. Because I was working on other stuff, I picked the version with Nalau V in the front and in the back, and they were super quick to make. In 2 days I finished both, then I joined it in the round, knitted for as much as I needed to cover my bust, the stockinette, and then knitted until I had only 4 grams of the yarn, and I bound off here yesterday. Finished it, the last rows I bound off yesterday, took me half the day. Then I washed it and blocked it, and since it's 63% viscose, it drapes marvelously. I love how this fits. You can see the fit is perfect, and that's the fame of this pattern. The pattern itself, it had 20 pages. I think it's too much for such a simple garment, but at least it covers many sizes, and as far as I know, it fits just as well in all the sizes. So it's a very good pattern in terms of what it produces. Knitting it again in the future, maybe not even for myself, but for a gift. It's a quick project, suitable for every yarn. I think the stitches picked make the shaping, basically. I made a mistake in the first, that I skipped one line of the instructions and I missed the last line of the first set of increases, so I added them in the end. So my front and my back are slightly different in the slope, and that's how I differentiate them. So I repeated the mistake in the second intentionally to match, and here I corrected it. The other thing I had to talk about is the bind off, that it took me a moment, because at first I bound off in pattern as recommended. It was too snug, hard to put it on, So I unpicked it, and I also had yarn left over and I didn't want to. So I knitted a few more rows, got a little more length. The length is pretty good here. It's not exactly at my waist, but it covers the top of my bottom. Added some length, and then I tried Italian bind off, just a little bit, it didn't work. I tried Jenny surprisingly cast off, also it wasn't good. So I just changed one of the tips of my needle from a 4.5mm to a 5.5mm and bound off in pattern with the larger needle, and it worked perfectly. That's how it is now. It gives a firm edge, which is needed for this yarn, I think, because, viscose, it could stretch and not come back, although this has a little bit of acrylic, so it brings everything back again. And well, just 10 out of 10, I would say. The pattern 9 out of 10 because it could be shrunk, but other than that, very, very good garment, and I recommend for everyone. And that's it for now, until the next update. Hi, today is February 14. Happy belated Valentine's Day. And I have some updates for you, not much, because remember, as I said, it's not that hot, I think I'm going to work on cardigans that month. Well, the weather said, yeah, hold my beer. And we had the hottest week of the year so far. I hope it will keep the hottest week of the year. We won't have anything hotter than that. And I had a lot of trouble working on my project. It's my most active current week, the Arlington card. But I managed to make the button band. Here I am tied to the camera, so I can go that far, but maybe you can see it here. I will post a picture later wearing it so you can see how it is. The button band is excellent. I haven't attached the buttons yet, and yesterday already I picked it up for the sleeve and made the cap sleeve with short rows according to the pattern. And the issue is I now have 9 days to work on 2 full sleeves. I don't know if I will be able to do it. Maybe I will have to ask for a larger deadline for this test knit, but I will try. The next week promises to be very hot too, and also I got extra work on top of my regular one, so I will have even less time to work on it. It wasn't that hard of a process. The only thing is this yarn, it tangles a lot very easily, so I had to cut it a few times. Not so many, like 2 or 3 times, but I was able to join it right in the join here, so it will be easier to hide it in the seam. And I'm not super happy with the fit here so far, because my roll gauge really made some impact, and this is quite large. Maybe when I have the sleeves it won't be a problem, but so far it fits a little weird, I should say. Well, apart from that, I have worked a little bit on my dress. I won't show you here because I don't have the project here when I keep at my desk for reasons. I will talk about this project later, maybe in the month or only in March, because I don't think I will finish it this month. But I have cast on this project also from this book that I received this week or the former week, this top. But I'm going to alter it a little bit. I'm going to crop it and modify it to knit it top down in the round. This is bottom up flat, the gist. Very easy. I thought this was a good project to try modifying it. I will talk more about it later. Now let's focus in the finished February. And that's what I had to report to you. It's Saturday, but I'm going to work. My plan was to work on it the entire weekend and maybe get one sleeve or 1 and a bit, but I won't be able to. So I don't know when I will come back to you, but well, that's life, right? Bye bye for now. It is February 18 and I'm popping up here very quickly to show you my first sleeve done. Finished it yesterday night. I have some concerns about the fit of it, not the sleeve but the whole cardigan, but that's it for now. I will try to pick up stitches for the second sleeve today, and let's see if I can match the deadline for this test knit. Hey, today is February 22 and I have something to show you. Yay! It's my Arlington cardigan. It's finished. finally. Well, it took me the whole day to finish it. I only had the cuff to do, but it was like 3,000 stitches. So I finished it weaving it, and oh, the sun. Oh, let me see where I can put you guys. Maybe here. Oh, well, maybe, I don't know, here, maybe, yes. So a different angle today. Well, what I was talking about. I finished this today, like 1 hour ago. Yesterday I attached the buttons. I only have 3. The button has 4, but as you know, I had roll gauge problems. These are the buttons from a cardigan my grandma gave me. Some of them fell, some of them were really raggedy, so I replaced the entire set of buttons, and some were still entire. And these are exactly the amount of I had that were still entire. I think her cardigan had like 6 of them. 3 were in good condition, and they matched perfectly the size of the buttonholes here. You can see, lovely. It was really quick. I did knit both of the sleeves in 1 week because they are flat for my size. Not all sizes have them flat, but they're flat and with long cuffs. And now I'm just going to show you how it fits, how it's dressing me. And I think this is going to be probably my last finished object of the month, because there's only 1 week left in the month, and for sure I'm not going to finish an entire colorwork cardigan in it. Will I work in the colorwork cardigan? Perhaps, maybe. I will see if I have another weekend in this month. Probably I will. If not, I'm going to dedicate myself to my summer projects, which I'm really missing because these days have been so hot, and it was a little torturous to work on this. But let me show. One of them is here. Is a 1960 top, which I'm, well, reverse engineering, not, I'm just modifying. And I'm also wanting to swatch from my older summer yarns. I hope to see you again once more until the end of the month. And just for wrapping up everything, I know it's counterintuitive to swatch for patterns to start projects in finished February, but I just follow the flow and the temperature mostly. So that's it for now. I will show you how it fits, and then we will see again in another clip. Very nice, very pretty. I don't know if I mentioned it, that I didn't have time to block it because today was unstable weather. It was sunny, rainy, so it wouldn't dry until tomorrow, and I have to take finished object photos and fill in the form for the testing it. So I chose just to steam it. I steamed it. I actually ironed it with a towel on top of it, and it relaxed a little bit. I don't think it will relax much more than that since it's acrylic, but I like the fit how it is. Now let me show you, and probably show you from another angle too. Hi, today is February 26th, almost at the end of our month and our challenge, and I have to inform you that things really went south from our last update. To be honest, in the middle of this month, about like 2 weeks ago, I started feeling joint pain, and at first I thought it could be from knitting because it started in my elbow, I think this one, but it migrated to the other elbow and then to my feet and my ankles and hands and everything. And when it reached the feet and the knees, I knew it wasn't just knitting stuff, repetitive effort damage. It was real inflammation, systemic something. And I thought that it might be from the excessive heat we had in those days. So I waited for it to pass on its own. I took medicine here and there, not very frequently, but when none of this solved, yesterday I went to the doctor and he gave me some medicine and exams to check for arthritis and this kind of diseases. When I finished my last cardigan, I was already with pain and I thought that it worsened the pain in my thumb, the effort I made in the very last day to finish it. So the 3 last days I didn't do much. I am in treatment, so I don't want to subject myself to a lot of strain. So instead of making extra effort to finish something, I decided I'm going to take it lightly with me and turn this from a finished February into a started February, because I have some summer projects that I still would like to get started this year at least. I don't know that I will finish them all because they are all in small needles, but they are from stash yarn, older yarn, and I like how this month I cast on 2 projects from stash yarn, and I would like to just materialize the projects I have planned for them. Hello! Today is March 2 and I'm filming my wrap-up for my finished February. So different from last year, right? Last year I had everything filmed and edited and posted February 28. This year I spent until the last minute of February working in stuff for this video. So we're going to watch it around mid-March, I believe. Well, let's go to the sum up of the month, right? Let's start by talking what I did not do. I did not touch my colorwork cardigan. Consequently, I did not touch my other vintage cardigan that depends on finishing the colorwork first. And I did not fix my elvin blouse, not even my granny square dress. I didn't sew it, although it was an easy fix, as the Russians say, ruki ne doходили. My hands didn't get to it. The first project I finished this month was my penteador from my Brazilian 1940 magazine, bed jacket. As you know, you have seen this. It was a saga. I had so much fun working on this project. I love the tail of the trim, and as you know, it went for my mom. It belongs to her now. But I did finish 2 pieces for myself. I cast on and cast off an entire top. This is my pillar stank by Claire Jackson from Perfectly Knotted. I made a mistake that allows me now to recognize which one is the back. Here you see it's more rounded here because of the way I made the increases. Here it's perfect in the front. I love this top. I have worn it already like 5 or 6 times this month. I washed it Saturday and it was drying yesterday. You can see the mark here still because I hung it on the cord a little bit just to ventilate. This turned out to be a very practical project. The fit is perfect. No complaints. It's just fits like a glove in my body. I made the best decisions about the lengths I could do, and yeah, not much to tell about it. I do recommend this. My third and last finished object of February was my Arlington cardigan by Lily Kate France. You saw this one too, and I am in love. I didn't have yet the opportunity to start wearing it on a regular basis because no cold yet, but I do predict that this will become a staple of my wardrobe. The color is just perfect for my palette. And I have been thinking about finally making my color season in knitting video, and I have steamed it. So it drapes a little bit, although it's acrylic. See, I do love it. I love it that I could use these buttons, and this will be just so good in the winter. So I consider this month a success in terms of wardrobe because I got 2 very basic garments with good fit and good colors, although this pink is not exactly my best pink, but I still do well with pinks in general. So I got 2 very basic and very handy items to my wardrobe that I am sure will serve me a lot. So a win. Hey everyone, today is March 11. And I am editing my video, my finished February video, and I was talking about the swatches that I made for our next knitting, and I decided I'm going to cut the video in half and only talk about the finished objects in my finished February video, and then all the rest of the footage about the things I started in the month will be another video, maybe named Match My Stash or something like that. So this is our new outro now, and keep waiting. I hope not to take long to edit this other video. I have a lot of nice things coming in this one. A few projects that I have been wanting to do for long. I am sure you will enjoy it. So bye for now. Be happy, be healthy, happy knitting. Follow for more, and I see you in the next one.